Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Harachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last sections of time. Shalom. All right, and this lesson is going to be entitled, Without Discipline, There is No Growth. Without discipline, there is no growth in this truth. All right. So ultimately, in order to level up, in order to grow in this ministry, it requires discipline. All right. It requires the fact that we must rule over our souls, man. Rule over our bodies. It's that word discipline from the online etymology. It says discipline, penitential chastisement, penitential chastisement. Let's get that word penitential. It says penitential, done as penance. It says pertaining to penance. Latin, penitentia, repentance. Repentance, you see? So we chastise ourselves onto repentance. That's why the word discipline, it says penitential chastisement. All right, repentance, chastisement. Because when you're disciplined, all right, you chastise yourself for the things that you've done wrongly, the things that you may be doing wrongly. All right, bad habits. There's a saying that goes, old habits die hard. All right, meaning they're hard to get rid of. Okay, so you have to apply certain guidelines in order to break those old habits to not go back to them, okay? Because if sin is transgression of the law, then repentance is ultimately not breaking the law, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, not going back on old mistakes or old habits or old ways. So discipline is required to grow, because if you think about it, growing is what? Being better than you were yesterday, being better than you were 6 months ago. All right, renewing your mind. Scriptures tell you in Romans the 12th chapter, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. All right, so ultimately, growth is achieving something that you're setting yourself out to achieve that you may not ultimately possess at this moment. All right, maybe more wisdom. All right, maybe more understanding, more mercy, more faith. Okay, but ultimately, discipline will get you there. All right, it says discipline, physical punishment, all right, teaching, suffering, martyrdom, all right, and that form of discipline ultimately could come from fasting, because when you fast, you ultimately do what? You afflict your soul, all right, you chastise your soul by not eating, by not drinking, all right, by not consuming food for a certain amount of time or consuming certain foods, all right. Daniel's the second chapter goes into, all right, that fast over a period of 10 days, all right, certain group of men ate vegetables, okay, vegetation. Another group ate the king's food, all right, basically meats, all right, feasting. And after that 10-day period, their countenance of those that ate the vegetables, okay, over that period, it was more fairer than those that ate the king's feast. Meaning what? They were more lively. They were more quickened, all right? Due to that discipline, okay? Because in this flesh, in this society in particular, all right, you're given the push to do as you want, do as you will, all right? Mr. CEO, Mr. MVP, all right? I did this. I accomplished this. Everything is I, but what about Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man? What about what the Lord said and what the Lord wants? The Lord expects discipline out of us so he can use us, man. So the Lord can ultimately work in us, all right? So it says, instruction given, teaching, learning, knowledge, also object of instruction, Salakia, object of instruction, it says science. All right, it says military discipline, treatment that corrects or punishes. There you go. The meaning, treatment that corrects or punishes. All right, punishes what? Mistakes. What is that treatment? All right, certain habits. There's a saying that says you form a habit in 21 days, like 3 weeks. All right, so the more you do something is what you become. You are what you eat. All right, and that could be as far as doctrine. All right, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, or what you literally eat. All right, what you put inside your body. All right, the Lord commanded us to make our bodies a living sacrifice, and we want that sacrifice to be holy. We don't want it to be defiled. All right, so therefore you got to put inside your body good things that are going to benefit you as well as your mind. All right, so it says, let's go back to the scriptures. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 25 verse 28. He that had no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Why? Because you have no defense. If you can't rule your spirit, you can't put certain things into your body that are beneficial for you, and you just go off the rocker and just consume anything, you have no discipline. According to our law, you're not supposed to consume anything. All right? So ultimately, it goes back to this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and applying it. All right? That is a form of discipline, man. Walking in this truth. All right? Being orderly, conducting yourself in a way that responds to this ministry, that responds to what we've been taught. Right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. It says, but I keep under my body. So like I'm going to start at verse 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And we're running this race. All right. We're reading these precepts upon precepts, these revelations. All right. These breakdowns, these dark parables, these wise sayings, and we're running to do the will of the Father. All right. We're changing our lives. We're changing our mindsets. We're not doing the old things that we used to do. We're not thinking how we used to think. We're not talking how we used to talk. We're not hanging around with people who we used to hang around with. We're not eating what we used to eat. All right. We're more disciplined, awaiting that day where the Lord is going to give us, all right, that dominion to rule over these other nations. It takes discipline. If we can't rule over our own souls, all right, like the scriptures say, this is Luke 19:17. And he said unto them, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. So ultimately, all right, that comes with mastering ourselves first. All right. Keeping your soul in order, your spirit in order, your body in order first. If you're not faithful in that, then you're not going to be faithful over the kingdom of heaven, man. You're not going to be able to rule. All right. If you're not able to rule over your own body, man, your own spirit. So you got to take what the Lord has given you on this side, whatever lot the Lord has put you in, and you got to be disciplined in it. All right. You got to perfect yourself, man, with this ministry. All right. With this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Lord willing, this message was edifying. It was a quick hit. All right. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Sama, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord. Shalom.